the last class, we have discussed about Node.js routing. So let me open this. Yeah. So we discussed about the HTTP router. Create server, and we also made the every routing in a separate folder. That's router.map routes here. So we have made a routing everything here. That's perfect. Node.js done. But here there are some limitations which are there in Node.js. The core Node.js, if you are using, there are some limitations, and we'll just discuss about those limitations. So now, first of all, limitations of Node.js. Limitations of Node.js. So what limitations of Node.js is? See here, the very first one. If URL is equal to slash, if URL is equal to slash about slash profile slash contact and 404. See, we are giving the URL is slash about profile. So what exactly this slash about and slash profile? So this is the request which is coming from the client, the browser. Can anyone please mute? Yeah, okay. Mute all. 1 second. Fine. Okay. So what is this URL means? It is a request which is coming from the client. So what type of request is going to come from the client? You will get a HTTP request, because the request and response which is uh, between the client and server is HTTP request, HTTP response. So in HTTP there are some different type of requests like get request, post request, put request, and delete request mostly. And trace also there. We just keep it as of now. 4. Get, post, put, and delete. So why get request is if you want to get anything from the server. Okay, get if you want to get information from the server. And the same thing we also use to uh, read operation at database. We want to get some any employee data from database. We use the get request only, and then post. So this is to send some information to the server. Same like whenever you want to create requests. So when you want to create a new employee, we use the post request, and then put. So put is to update at server side. You want to update something at server side which already there. So this is also used for update operations at database, and then delete. So delete means you want to delete any data at server side. Okay, and the same thing we also use to delete a record at database. Okay, I'm talking about here server, and same thing for database connection. Once done, that database operation also here. So for this HTTP request, we have these many type of requests, right? But here we have just URL slash URL about URL profile, but there is no clear separation here to identify is that a get request or post request or delete request, correct? So that type of clear separation is not there. Okay, the very first limitation is there is no, okay, so there is no clear separation of HTTP request. That's the first thing. Okay, and then when you come to the views, okay, one second, that's okay. We will finish this part first. So there is no clear separation of HTTP requests done. And then what about this respond.end? With this function respond.end, there is only one function which will take a string as a parameter. And if you want to send some data back to the client, and we have to read like a file system, fs.read file, we have to read the entire file like a in a string format, and that string we have to send as a response. So what type of data can be sent from the server to the client, I mean in the form of response. So in the form of HTTP response, not just a string. You may send, okay, you may send a plain text, yes, or else you can send HTML tags you can send from the server, or you can send a whole HTML file from the server as a response, or you can also send the very important is JSON, because the data which is coming mostly, the data transfer between the client and server is JSON only. Even when you're discussing about Angular and React, so data which is coming from the server is a form of JSON. So and even complete transfer will be in the form of JSON data. But there is no clear separation of how to send data in a JSON format. There's no separate function for that. And also, I want to download a file from the server. So for all the different type of responses, there is no clear method to identify what type of data we are able to send to the server. Okay, this is one limitation, and we can overcome this limitation in Express.js. Wait, slowly we are shifting to Express.js now, and I tell you what is Express.js. Next, okay, this is fine. And finally, one more is there in the views folder. I have a HTML, right? So this HTML. But here in this HTML, I have configured the HTML things and also the style. See how I write the styles. I have written the styles in a form of style tag. So why I have written a style tag is there is no, uh, there is no setup to make these static files to be keep in one file. There's no public folder access and something like that. So this styles you must have to write in a style tag. There is no chance of writing them in a style.css which will not detect by the Node.js server. So you have to do a lot of configurations. Actually, you can do these things, but you have to compromise on this because you have to do a lot of configuration because that's how the core technology works. Okay, so here, so no separation of style sheets. Not only style sheets, you want to connect to extra JavaScript files which are required for something dynamic here on the client side, so which is not there, and even the image files setup is not there. Okay, so these many, and also one more thing is template engine. Template engine support is also not there. Okay, what is template engine is the same way how we are doing the DOM manipulation at the client side. The same way, I want to display something dynamic on the page from the server side. It is the process of template engine. It's a new concept. Don't worry. So we have these many limitations here. So it's not it's just a limitation, not a drawbacks. Okay, it means we can do these things, but high configuration is required. Okay, so instead we are shifting to the Express.js. Okay, so what is Express.js? Is that really again a new platform like Node.js we have to install and you have to configure everything? No, Express.js it is just one npm module. I can say it is a third-party module, and some people could call it as a library of Node.js also, library of Node.js. So let me talk about. I think we all know the CSS, right? So CSS, but CSS library is Bootstrap. So what you can do with CSS, you can also do with a Bootstrap, and what you can do with Bootstrap, you can also do with CSS. But why we switch to Bootstrap is to to easy of developing a complex UI components. We are shifted to Bootstrap, and the same way we have JavaScript and jQuery. jQuery is the library of JavaScript. So jQuery has come to simplify the DOM manipulation. So we feel a slight complex in doing the JavaScript DOM manipulation, but which is made simplified in jQuery and as well as plugins and form validations and Ajax. So this simplified what you can do with JavaScript. Fine. And the same way you have a Node.js. So Node.js is again it's a platform to develop the server side web applications, but uh, slight slight complex process to do all this type of configurations. So we are shifting to Express.js. So Express.js is again a library of Node.js, and which will be Express. See, the name itself is Express. Express means the faster web development at the server side. We have to use Express.js, and don't think Express.js is something else. This internally using Node.js only, but which provides an extra layer. We don't need to configure the low level things. Express.js will take care about all this. Okay, you just have the clear separation of functions also. Okay, so that's about Express.js. And then how to install Express.js. So Express.js, shall I install in the locally or globally? You must have to install in the local, because some application we may use Node.js, some application we may use Express.js. So I wanted to install Express.js in the local. So you can just do npm install Express. Okay. So what are the advantages which overcome these limitations? Let me talk about here. Let me paste them again. So there is no clear separation of HTTP requests in a Node.js. So here we have there is a clear separation of HTTP requests. So we have a different function support is there, like app.get is a function. So here you can provide the slash app.get. So this is for the get request. So you have a clearly understand, yes, it is a get request. And for next app.post. So for post request, we have a separate function. So some path, I'm not giving actual path. This is for 1 second. This is for the post request, and then we have. Let me do one thing. So app.put is there. So this is for the put request, and app.delete function is there. This is for the delete request. So this is a clear separation of HTTP requests in Express.js. And then what about response? So for response, you want to send a plain text. You have a function response.send. See, in Node.js, it is response.end only one function. Here, response.send is a function. And then you want to send a whole HTML. You don't need to read like a file system. You have a shortcut. That is response.send file. Response.send file. Okay, so directly you can access that. You don't need to read like with the file system string data. And then JSON, we have response.json is a function. And then to download a file, you have response.download is a function. Okay, and then no clear separation of uh, style sheets. So separation of style sheets and JS files are available. And there's a one more concept in Express.js is also called as static files. Static files configuration. Okay, once you configure, you can just start using all the static files. So that is available. And here, template engine support is also there. So template engine means there is a function actually response dot render function. Instead of response dot send file, you have a response dot render is for template engine. There are some template engines available like EJS and PUG and um, EJS, PUG, and one other thing is there Jade. Okay, and these are like some template engines. So we'll talk about the template engines once we start Express.js. Okay, fine. So these many advantages are there, and even if you are using Express.js is nothing but internally it is using Node.js only. Okay, so let's have a look how to create a server with Express.js and how to configure these things, and uh, and then we'll see the routing also. Okay, so let's have a look. So let me go to my um, WebStorm. So here I will create a new folder. new directory. So 07 underscore express. So creating servers. So I will create one JS file, that is app.js. That's the main application to server startup. And before we start explaining about, start coding about Express, I show you the official website of Express. So let me go to Google once. Yeah, here. Yeah, here. Okay. So here let's search for Express JS. If I type Express.js, you will get that website called expressjs.com. It's a Node.js web application framework. It's a framework of Node.js. So Express is simply Express. It's a faster, it's a web development, web application framework for Node.js. It's a free and open source. And 2010 it is released, almost along with Node.js it is. Okay. So current version 4.17.1 from almost 7 months ago. Okay, its a platform is Node.js. It runs on Node.js only. Okay, so let me open Express. Yes, expressjs.com, and this is the Express. So fast and unopinionated minimalist web framework for Node.js, and you can install like this: npm install express hyphen hyphen save. So here, this is the official website, and here you have a lot of I mean some navigation here. So how to install, how to make hello world, what is express generator, what is basic routing, static files configuration, and if you go to some advanced topics, template engines, process manager, security updates. So the complete information is available here. So let me click on this getting started. So how to install, you have to create a folder and then do npm init to create a package or json, and then entry point install express, and then hello world. So how to write hello world is, so like this is the minimal code of express. Yeah, I just explained this process now. So let me go back here. Yes, see, as I said, express.js is a third party module, and if it is a third party module, you can install using npm install express, and you can even write hyphen hyphen save. It saves an entry in the package.json. But whenever you want to install npm module, any third party module, you must have a one package.json, and after that you can install. So we don't have a package.json. Let me create it, and we know how to create a package.json. Let me open in terminal and just say npm init. This is the command to install create a package.json. So press enter. Okay, it asks some questions. So package name same, version same, description. So express JS creating servers example, entry point same, test command no, git repository no, keywords no keywords. If you wish, you can write the author name, your name, and then yes, this is yes. Okay, so now um, package.json has created, and then we'll install the express.js. So go to same terminal. Here, how to install the locally is npm, and also see that here there is no dependent modules configuration. It will come now with the command. So npm install express hyphen hyphen save, and press enter. So it requires internet connection. It downloads the express.js from the Google and keeps inside a node modules folder and makes an entry in the package.json as well. So see, I show you. So 4.17.1 is the current version. See, 4.17.1 current version. So let's check here. Okay, so Express 4.17.1. So current version has come. Fine. So once you install, and where this Express.js, see, it's got a dependencies entry, express, and with the version. And when I see node modules folder, you have a all the supported modules, all depend modules along with our Express.js as a dependency. And here we have a lot of other applications here. Okay, fine. And once we have done with this, and let's create a server with Express.js as well. So previously we have discussed how to create a server with a basic core module called HTTP module, right? HTTP.create server, and we have to set up all the status code, status send header, and listen. This much configuration is done with the core. This is a core language. So library or framework means it's less amount of code you have to write. So let's see. Let me load the express now. So constant express is equal to require express. So I got the express, and then so as soon as you load the express, you have to initialize the express so that it starts working as soon as you initialize. So the next step is constant app is equal to express open close. You have to call this the same the value, the variable like a function. So it didn't say function actually. So that function when you call it's start initialize the express.js, and along with that I need the one host name. So constant host name is equal to 127.0.0.1, and the constant port number and 3000. Okay, and then how to make a configuration here is you can write directly for get request. Just say directly amp dot get, and here you will give the slash as a default request parameter URL, and then you have two, sorry, you have one callback which contains request and response. This is how it is. But one more thing is, see, for get, if I keep a cursor here, it says unresolved function or method get. So thus is not able to recognize what is this get function. So if you have this type of issue in WebStorm, so you have to configure the Express library to the WebStorm. So how to load Express library to the WebStorm is, if you want to, if you get rid of this type of errors, so you have to go to file settings, and here, yes. So this one, language and frameworks. You have to select the JavaScript, expand the JavaScript. You have libraries. So in that, so there are some predefined libraries are there, Lodash and all other things. So let me load the Express library as well to start automatically recognizing these functions. So here you can just click on a download button. So it's fetching all the list of libraries of JavaScript. So here you can have a search for Express. It's in alphabetical order. So A B C D E Express. So there is a name called Express here. Yes, Express. So let me just select the Express and then download. See, now it is installing npm module type slash express. So it takes a bit time. Okay, indexing. Yeah, done. So as soon as it is downloaded, you get the option here enabled type slash express. If you have done this enable, so automatically the express functions you can start using it. Okay, it just comes automatic. Um, I mean, what do you call the automatic? What you can say? The automatic name can be displayed here. Okay, so let me click on OK. Yeah, see, now error is gone, and you can just say control space. You have a get request, post request. See, it starts recognizing all the functions. Fine. So now get request. Okay. So here what you have to write. Generally, in Node.js, we have to configure this, the set header, the status code, and all this. Here, nothing required. We can just simply say the response. Now, there's a function called sender. Response dot sender. In Node.js, it was send function. I mean end function. Now here send function. Here I write backtick. I write some h2 slash h2. So let's say style equal to color blue violet. Just say welcome to Express.js. Welcome to Express.js. And finally, you have to write app.listen to the port number and the host name, comma one callback. So here you write console.log backtick. So server is started at http colon slash slash. So the host name colon port number. Okay, so this how I mean the basic configuration about Express.js server. And let me run the program. One second. Yeah, Shruti, tell me.
Uh, uh, we we are creating the server here.
Yeah, sorry.
We are creating the server, sir, here.
Okay, okay, okay. I got it. I tell you. See, in Node.js, yeah. So in Node.js, yeah, good question. In Node.js, what we do is HTTP dot create server. So we will create a server and then
Mm,
we'll configure URL things and all right internally.
yeah.
So here we don't need to create a server actually. So whenever I say app.listen, so this internally having a create server. I think I can check now.
Okay.
Okay, it is going here. Yeah, this is actually listen function, port number, host name. This internally it was having the HTTP dot one sec.
Okay.
Actual implementation is not there. It's going to the I think it's interface. It is interface. So function is B. C. They have configured here the HTTP dot create server. So previously we used to give create server and listen to port number like this
Yeah.
generally, right? So but
Yeah.
whenever you are doing the listen, because it creates a layer on Node.js. Okay, we don't need to I mean do the scratch level
Manually. Okay.
those things. So it
Okay.
automatically does
Create.
internally this part. So when you call
Okay.
the listen, the create server. Okay,
Okay, I got
fine.
it.
Yeah. So this is server startup logic, and let me start the server once. I go to terminal. So I say I start with nodemon because we already installed nodemon. Okay. So nodemon space app.js. So when I run this, yes, I got this, and server is started at this port number. Let me click on this. Yes, you got the message. Welcome to Express.js. Fine. So this is how a I mean Express.js server works. Fine. And also along with this, let me also show you the examples of different type of response. So as of now, we have made this response.sender to send a normal a plain text or a HTML string. But I also show you how to make a whole HTML file as a response and the JSON response and how to download a file from the server. Okay, so let's make these four things in the same file. Okay, so plain text we have done and its path is slash. So when I make a slash path, I have to get the this HTML tag. And when I make slash home, so when you are making a slash home, I have to get the HTML file as index.html. I have to respond. And when I make slash JSON, I have to get the JSON response. And finally, when I say slash download, so I need to download the file. So I need to download a file. Okay, so let's make these things also. Let's make index.html. I quickly create one HTML file. So here uh, I do right click new HTML. So let's make but do one thing. Why again HTML time waste? We have already HTML file, right? The creating service. Yeah, let me copy the index.html and I'll just keep it here. But it was using something. Okay, let me change now. It is Express.js and light blue. I'll change to orange red and welcome to Express.js. Yeah. So this is the file I want to display from Express.js. So in Node.js, what you have to do, you have to read like a file system, fs.read file and all this. We don't need all the file system module also, but we just need a path because you have to configure the actual path of the file. So I need a path module. So it's a path module is from core. So let's say path module. Yeah. So here I'll also configure here get what get a HTML tag and let's make get a HTML file. So how to do that is again app.get here let's make slash comma no it's slash I have given home when it says slash home index.html will come. So slash home is the path comma one function. So that is having two parameters. One is a request and response. So here what you do is response dot there's a function directly send file. Send file. You have to give the file name. So path dot join underscore underscore directory name comma index dot html. That's it. You don't need to read like a file system. So response dot send file path dot join index dot html. Okay, so let me test this application with this particular URL. And I have already started live server with Node.1, so we don't need to consider again starting. It will take care about automatically as soon as the file change happens. So back to the client here. When you make a slash request, normal HTML tag, and when you make a slash home, it's gonna get the index or HTML as a response. So when I make slash home, press enter. Yes, I will get the complete HTML as a response. Okay, this looks good. And then let's make other two. One is JSON response and one is download a file. So let's make the JSON response. So here get JSON response. Okay, so mostly we use JSON response only when you're dealing with the actual front end like Angular and React. Okay, because we don't need to send HTML files from the server because we can manage these files with Angular, the client itself. We only just need data transfer that is through JSON. Okay, we'll talk about this in future. App dot get now app.get and what's the path slash JSON. It's our own path. Okay, you can make any other path. So here you have a request and response. Yeah, here we write response.json, but we need to have one at least one object, right? I'll do one thing. Do we have any array or something? Yes, we have just objects and core module. So we don't have any array. Fine, Let's create an object. So let's employees is equal to one array. I want to send this as a this and response. So one employee object. So let's quickly create. So name John and age 40 and designation as a manager. Okay, so three fields in objects. Let's create another object. So name Wilson and some 45 years is the senior manager, and one last object. So something Rajan around 25 years and he is a software engineer. Okay, so here I have employees array which having three objects. So I have to send these data as a JSON response to the client. So what you do is response.json, simply you can say employees. Okay, this is how response.json works. So now check get JSON. I'm gonna get this data. So let me go back here. When I make slash JSON, when I enter, see, I get the data in a JSON format, and we can read this and convert to an object, and you can start using this in HTML at the client side. And one last thing, how to download a file. So to download a file from server, so you write again app.get slash download is my path, comma, but we need one file, right, to download. But let me grab one. mm, Let me go to my desktop. Let me grab at least one file like UI developments, codes, content, Angular, React. What all this? It's a complete documentation. Okay, something HTML day 3. Yeah, I got one PDF file, and this file I'll keep in a main application folder itself. Yeah, HTML day3.pdf. Okay, so I will download this. So let's make a callback with the request and response. So I say download, and you can give the path. So path dot join underscore directory name, comma, the file name is, let me get the file name. So refactor rename, let me copy this, and sorry, substitute here. Okay, so whenever you say slash download, and you're gonna get the download of this particular file from the server. Let's also test that, and back to here. So when I say slash download, when I enter, see, one file got downloaded. Okay, so we made different type of responses. Now when you make a slash request, you get the normal HTML page, and when you make a slash home, you get the home page with the HTML. And when I make JSON, I get a JSON response, and when I make download, I got download of a file. Fine. And these different type of responses we can send from the Express server. And one last thing I want to tell you in this file is back to here. See, yeah, separation of style sheet, JS, and image files. So static files configuration. So what exactly this one? See, in my HTML, how we configure the styles. We have configured the styles using a style tag. But generally, when you make a website, you never configure styles using style or CSS. I mean, you never configure with the style tag. You have to make a style or CSS external style sheet. So I want to do that process now. So what I do, I will create a folder. I call the folder as public folder. So public folder generally we created server side that is like publicly available. So without irrespective of any request. Okay, it's a public folder. So in the public folder, I will create one style sheet, styles.css. Okay, in public folder I have created style.css, and what I do, I will cut this enter styles, and I'll keep it here. Then we made a styles here, and what I do, I'll just delete this, and I will make a link to that file. So public folder slash style.css. So simply what I have done is, instead of writing a style tag here, I have taken all the styles to the style.css, and I have configured the exact path of the style.css in my HTML, and then I save it. Okay, so now let me test this. Is that really working or not as expected? So home page, okay, working. But when I say slash, yeah, when I say slash home, right? So when I enter home, see, I got the text except the styles. See, it's having a background color orange, red, and font family, text center color white. It's nothing applied, just HTML has come. So what is this happen? Why the styles is not applied? Thing is, when you enter a home, right? See, let me go back to the routing now. Yeah. So when I make a home request, okay, get request. So what happened? Respond.send to file index.html. So we just tell to the Express server that whenever you get a home request, I have to send a index.html. So index.html has served, but internally there are some other file has linked up. That's called from public folder. So this nowhere you have configured to serve the files from the public folder. Okay, so that's why this file has not served to you on the client. So you have to configure these things also at the server side. That's how you have to do a server side coding. So you have to configure this thing also at server side. So how to configure this is generally what exactly the public folder is. So which contains the static files, like any files like the CSS styles files or any JavaScript plugins kind of files, any images. So those type of data we're gonna keep in publicly accessible folder, and we have to configure the public folder to the Express.js. Irrespective of any URL, you must have to serve this public folders. So how to configure that is, see, that is already given in Express.js website. See, if I click on getting started, static files. If I click on static files, see, you can do the option app.use express.static as a public. See, for example, use the following code to serve images, CSS files, and JavaScript files in a directory named public. Okay, so like JPG files, style.css, this everything will be configured uh, properly. You can make some other folder like static, like that. So I have a folder is public. So let me copy this line. Okay, so way to configure is in your app.js before routing starts here. So let's say configure static files path. So let me paste. So this is must and should. Okay, app.use, but my folder name is public. I have a folder name is public. So I'll just configure the public and express.static public. Fine. So if we have configured this thing, so it automatically start recognizing the public files, and whatever the public file configuration you have done, it automatically serves them irrespective of any URL. Okay. So now let's check here again, and when I hit enter, see now the styles has come. Okay, if you wanted to know that, let me inspect. mm, yeah, here you can check in the network tab. mm, CSS. Okay, let me refresh once. It's not visible. See, style.css has sent from the server now. Okay, so if you click on all, see what is this? Home page is served. Style.css is also served, and ng-validate.js. I think this is internal configuration of Express. Okay, so these static files has been serving from the server. But if you have not configured this, let me comment out this. If you have not configured them, and when I click on the refresh, see the style.cs has been cancelled, so which has been not served from the server. Okay, so let me keep it enabled so that if you refresh, now it is serving happily. Okay, that's how you can configure your application specific the static files here. So that's done. So now what we understand in this example is how to create a server and how to send the different paths and different type of responses. And one more thing, what is my plan is, let's make routing as well. Okay, so let's create a routing also with Express.js because we know how to make a separate style sheet, right? So we'll make a routing. But in this routing, I have a plan. So plan means a simple normal HTML routing. I don't feel looks good. So what I do is I will make a good website which is uh, having a proper routing. What is the website is in CSS we have developed a website, right? I'll just open a website. Let me go to our online classes, CSS complete files. We made a website that is the gadgets website. Yes, so this website. So this website we have developed using HTML and CSS. So what is my plan is I want to show. See, this is actually running in the client now. Okay, so this website I want to make it run from the Express server. Okay, so and don't expect me to write everything the complete source code. I just copy paste only, but only thing I tell you how to configure this entire website and where to configure what. Okay, so let's create another folder called Express routing, and where I'll send this entire website as a response from the server. Okay, so let's start. So I will create a new directory. So 08 underscore express. So routing, now express routing, and okay, fine. And here I'll create one JavaScript app.js, but I have to create first package.json. So let me right click. First, let me stop the existing server. And one more thing, see, already server is running at the 3000 port number here, right? But without stopping it, if you're starting again, you get the error call the port number already used. So make sure you stop the server better and make sure you close it also. Yeah, and let me select this routing, open in terminal. Okay, so here they say npm init, package name routing and version same, description express routing example on CSS website, entry point same app.js, test command nothing, no git repository, no keywords, license, okay, yes. So yeah, I got package.json, and let me install Express.js as well. So npm install express hyphen hyphen save, press enter. Yeah, Express also installed. So let me write the server side logic. So first of all, you have to say constant express equal to require express, and then you say constant app is equal to express. You have to call like a function to initialize, and I also need a path module. Constant path is equal to require path, and let me make the port number and host name. So constant host name is equal to 127.0.0.0.1, and the constant port number some 3000, and then let's make app.get the basic default get request, and I'll make one callback which having two parameters. One is request and one is response. So let me make respond dot send the basic response normal HTML. So I make backtick h2 slash h2. So I'll make style equal to color red. Okay, just say welcome to Express routing. And finally, just say app.listen. You have to give the port number and then host name, comma one callback again. So console.log server. Let's make Express server. Started at http colon slash slash host name colon port number. Okay. So I have done the configuration, and let me start the server once and let's check, and then we'll configure all other remaining things. So go to terminal. Let's say nodemon because I want to make an automatic restart. So nodemon space app.js. So server started. Let me click on this. Let me close the previous one. Yes, this is our thing. So welcome to Express routing. Done. So server's up and running now. So now first thing I want to configure is the static files configuration, but I don't have a public folder. I create a public folder as well. So right click new directory public folder. Fine. And let me configure that. So app.use public comma express.static. Here you have to provide the public. Okay. So done. Uh, so let's make the series website now. So let's see the series website. I just go to the gadgets website here. Yeah. So here uh, I got a set of HTML files and series folder and images folder. So the plan is I'll keep all HTML files in the views folder. Okay, I'll tell you the folder structure now. Here, public folder. Public folder is for the static files like .js files or .css files or image files, any audio video files, those things. And then views folder is a view part. So views folder contains all the HTML files. Okay, and let's create a router folder in future. This is for routing. Let's say application routing. And app.js is the main app file. Okay, this is the main application file. Okay, this is how you have to configure. So public folder have it. Views folder I create. So right click new directory views, and let me also configure the routing folder or router folder. Sorry, I have made a spelling mistake. Router, yeah. Right click new directory router. So I have public folder, router, and views. So go back to my CSS website. Here I have the CSS folder and images folder. Let me keep them both inside it because in CSS we have the CSS files, and images folder we have all the list of images. So I'll just copy these two and keep in that folder. So in the public folder paste. Okay, yep. So that's done. See, public folder we have CSS folder and images. Next is get all the HTML files, copy, paste in the views folder. Okay, I have pasted. And let's cross check one more time. Public CSS images, and in the views we have a HTML. Okay, done. So we made this, and let's also configure the routing. So where I make a routing is here only. So let's say application routing. Okay. So what is this routing is? I have about.html, contact, gallery, index, and news. So for this, we have to provide a routing. So routing purpose, I'll make slash. This is for the home page, and slash about path. I want this to be about us page, and slash news. I need for the news page, and slash contact. This is for the contact us page, and one more is gallery is there. Slash gallery. I need to get the gallery page, and finally we need a 404 also. Let's keep 404 also. Lastly, we need this particular path. So let's start with a slash homepage. So as of now, I made a slash for the home page. Let me cut this. App routing for home page. Okay, for slash request. So I don't need this response. I need a complete HTML response. So response dot send file path dot join underscore directory name comma see underscore directory name in the main app folder is give you app routing. So in the app routing we have views folder. So let's make the views folder comma index dot html. Okay, so that's it. So let's check now. Let me go to here. I'll just enter. Okay, so here I got the response, but thing is styles not applied. Why not applied? Let's have a look because we have already configured the static files path. That's fine, but style is not applied because go to the index.html. See here, this is what not apply because cannot resolve the file name, font awesome and all because these files we have kept in public folder. You have to give the public folder path. I'll give dot slash public folder slash css. See now error has gone. Let's make that path for all. Okay, I think that refresh one. Yes, we got some half and images not came. Images. Let me copy once. Where images? Yeah, here. Public folder slash. Okay, and here also public folder slash. Public folder slash. Here also. Here and here. Yes, done. Let's check. Let me refresh. See, I didn't get the index or HTML because it's a normal slash request, but I can able to get the hover effect, the zoom effect, and the footer. Okay, fine. So home page ready, and let's make a news page. So for news page, mm, Let's make a setup once. This for home page. So let's configure for all. So for news page path is slash news. I need to get the news.html, paste. So this is gallery. So let's make slash gallery. I need to get the gallery.html because all are in the same folder, views folder. So about us page. So slash about. So let's make about.html, and finally contact page, contact us. So let's make slash contact. This is contact.html. I have configured the path now. Okay, for all the pages, 5 pages. Then for each application, because we have to set the proper path for the CSS in each HTML. So go to first news. Here also uh, dot dot slash public folder slash. So copy. So paste here, anywhere else. Yeah, images here. Okay, done. Let's make for gallery page. Here also this one, and this one. And here we have a lot of images. I'll do one thing for images slash. Let me do Control R for replace. I'll make here dot slash public folder slash. So you should be very careful with the this thing because it'll replace for all other things. Image slash. So what I'm doing, replacing Control R command for replace. So what to replace with what? Images slash. I want to replace with dot slash public folder slash images. So replace all. So now check, all the errors has gone. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Next, about us page. So it's again dot slash public folder slash copy an image. Yeah, here. Okay. So contact and input. Okay, here no image. Fine. So looks good. And let's make it so slash about. I get the about us page. Perfect. Let's make slash news. I get the news page with the hover. Everything is working fine. And let's make gallery slash gallery. I got the gallery page. And finally, I'll make a contact. I get the contact page. Everything fine. But what I'm doing is I am making the URL at the here. You must not do that. You have to make these things, right? So if you click on home, see something went wrong. So why it is went wrong? See, when I make a slash request in the URL, it works perfectly because you are making a slash request in the URL manually is you are sending a slash request to the server like this. But whenever I click on this link, see in the bottom you can check here, it is showing index.html. It must not be index.html, it just slash. And where is that configuration? In the navbar. Let me change the navbar once. Go to index page, see navbar. So when I click on the home, it has to go to href, not index.html because it's in the client configuration. So server side is just a slash. For news, it is must be slash news because that's what we have configured server side for the paths. Okay, so for gallery, so it must be slash gallery, and for about it must be slash about, and for contact it must be slash contact. I need the same thing for all the pages. So let me just copy the navbar ones. Go to news, replace. But one problem will come is class active because here home is active. So let's make news is active and the gallery. For gallery, replace and cut the class active. For gallery, class active and about. So cut the class active, add the about and contacts and cut the class active, add to the contacts. Yes, done. So now check. If you click on news page, what happened? News page, yes, working. So HTML, news, gallery, about us, and contact. See the path also perfectly working. About, gallery, news, and the home. Okay, looks good. Then you can also check everything is loaded. Yes, contact. Okay, one last thing, sir. What if I have made some other URL which is not exist? Something you get the cannot get, but I need to get a page not found error page. Okay, I also tell you how to configure the page not found. Uh, I'll do one thing. I create. Let me copy the contact.html, paste in the views 404.html. So here I don't need the contact section. Let's make 404. So let's make a section with the class called uh, page not found section. So let's make a h1 page 404 page not found, and below this let's make some paragraph with the lorem 50 tab. Let's make some multiple. Okay, ready. So we made this page, and let's configure some styles also. Page not found section. Let me test this. Page not found. Let me go to style.css. Somewhere end of this. Yeah. Page not found. Just simply text align center and some padding, and also that a page not found space h1. I'll give the color red. Okay, looks good. And also the dot page not found section space p. The font size, and it's some 18 pixels. Okay, fine. So basic setup I have made. I mean the styles. But how to configure the page not found here? See, previously in Node.js we make if condition, right? If match, if else, else if, else if. But here no if else condition. So how to configure the page not found is, always remember it must be last. So for 404 page, just say app dot is a function called use, and don't give the path at all. You have a directly callback request and respond. This is how you configure app.use, no path, only the callback. And you can make a here response.send file 404.html. So whenever I mean if none of these path matches, then this 404 page is gonna apply. So let's check back to here. So whenever I make request, yeah, home, news, gallery, about us, and contact us. But when I make something called profile is not there. You get the 404 page not found. Okay, fine. So it's like that. But one last thing what I want to tell you is we made the complete routing in the app.js, but actually this routing has to be done in router folder. So let's do that first. So finally, in the router folder, I create new JavaScript, something called app routing. So here I create a function. So let's map routes. We have discussed this concept now already in Node.js. Map routes is equal to one function. And let me export this. Module.exports is equal to one object. Here map routes. And here I have to make application routing. So let me go back to the app.js once. Here the complete application routing, I'll just cut it. Sorry, up to here, cut it. I'll keep it inside of here. Okay, so fine. But I have to call this map routes. So let me load that. The constant router is equal to require. So router folder dot slash the custom module router slash app routing.js. So copy. So we can make application routing. So router dot map routes. Okay, but one problem we'll get here is whenever I call map routes, it just simply calling the map routes. But here there is no way connection with the app. Okay, I'll do one thing. I got an app here. Okay, this app I'm gonna send it. Let's pass the app. You're passing app, but what about the request and response? Here it is looking for the response. So I'll make. Shall we make a response here? Oh, let's test. Let's say app. Only app I'm sending, and here I'll catch the app. The response comes along with the app itself because we have not made anything anywhere here, right? Okay, so don't to configure the response, only app. Okay, so let me save it. But one more problem we'll get is views because I have taken the routing logic to the router folder. So in router folder, if you say path.join directory name, so that will give you up to router folder. But in the router folder, we don't have a views folder. We have to come out from the folder. If you want to know that, go refresh. See, path is not defined. This is a new one. Okay, so path, this one path. Let me load the path module. So constant path is equal to require path module loaded. Let me test one more time. Yes, you get there now. No such file or directory, router folder, views folder, index, but actually views in main app folder, but not in the router folder. So to resolve this, let's make another dot for all the links. So let me copy this thing, paste, uh, paste, and paste. Yes. So now it look for the main app folder, views folder. So let's save it and and go back here. Enter. Yes. Now start working. So news page, gallery page, about us, and contact us. Okay. So it's working, and let me also show you the structure now. See, Express routing, node modules folder. This is for any third-party modules we want to load. Public folder which contains all the static files like CSS and image folders. And router, it has to make the actual routing. application routing, and views which contain all HTML files separate, and app.js. This is the main application for to server startup, and package.json. This contains all dependent modules and configuration about application. And what is this package log.json? This is contains, see, Express.js, we are dependent. This entire application dependent on Express.js, and now Express.js is dependent on some other modules. So those modules configuration it creates automatically. We don't need to worry about this file. Okay, so the story is in app.js. Whenever I start the server, it start running on this host name and port number, and also the public files configured here, and all routing is going to shift it to this function. So you have to go to this folder. So whenever slash request comes, display index page, news, gallery, about, contact, and if any other 404. Let me test the 404 also. I'll make something else. I'll get the 404. Okay. So this is how you can configure the routing in Express.js as well. Enough for this. And in the next class, what is my plan is I don't need this normal HTML and CSS because generally website can be made in Bootstrap. So I'll tell you how to configure a Bootstrap to your Express.js because going forward everything is Bootstrap only. So how to configure a Bootstrap with Express.js, and also uh, the next step is I want to catch not only the simple URL. I need there is something called uh, the URL parameters are there. Okay, query strings are there, and also how to send form data to server, post request. So till now we have only deal with the get request. So let's send post request, put request, and delete request at server side. Okay, because that's very important. Post request means till now we only discussing like the form data sent to server. We always saying form data sent to server, but we never seen how the form has catch the front end data. Okay, so tomorrow, I mean the next yes, tomorrow's class we're going to discuss how to submit a form data to the server with Bootstrap front end. Okay, first I tell you how to connect with Bootstrap, and then get and post request. Different type of get requests are there and post requests is there. So how to send form data to server. So once that part is finished, and then we'll go ahead with database, and once that done, we'll switch back to the Angular. Okay, so that's the concepts. Any questions till now? Anybody? Let me unmute all. Any questions?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. And we'll just practice here, and I'll share all this videos. I mean, this video and this files also to you because I think till now I have not shared files. So I'll share files and I'll send you the path where I have shared. Okay, through your email. So that's it. Thank you so much, and we'll meet in tomorrow's class. Thank you.